In this video, we're going to be talking about Palantir. This is a news update video for Palantir. Specifically, in this video, we're going to talk about what the current stock price is, what do I think it's going to be within, say, 12 months, overall looking at the chart. But really what we're going to get into is I found a piece of information that specifically talks about the short interest in the stock and how that is actually starting to retreat. So the people that are interested in shorting the stock and making money via shorts, it looks like that number is dwindling, and so we're going to really look at that information, which bodes well for the stock long term. You guys know who follow my channel, or if you're new here, I'm extremely bullish on Palantir. I own Palantir, and I think that this company is going to be fantastic for years to come, and we're going to be talking about all of that in this video. If you're new here, this video is for entertainment purposes only. My name is Austin Hilton, and I basically bring you videos just like this on Palantir. I cover Palantir a tremendous amount on my channel. I'm very bullish. I feel very strongly about this company, what they do, where they're going, their market, their leadership, all that kind of stuff. Very bullish on this stock, and I think it's going to do really well long term. Also, I cover a tremendous amount of other areas on my channel, so if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing and drop a like on this video. Subscribe because I bring you Palantir update videos, EV updates. I have a whole section every day. I bring you cryptocurrency related videos if that's something that's of interest to you, and covering those guys. Again, looking to try to help you make more money. That's really my goal. My goal is very simple, is to help you make more money tomorrow than you're making today via keeping you updated and just bringing you all sorts of information related to the stock market. That's what I care about. I care about helping. All that I care about. I'm building a community here on YouTube, so please become part of it if you haven't already done so. All right, with that said, let's go do this. Let's go take a look at Palantir's chart real quickly, kind of look and see what's going on, maybe look at what we might be having coming at us in the next week or so, and then we're going to look at this piece of information. All right, here we go. So real quickly, before we do get into the chart, I'm assuming you know this, but if you don't, I want to make you aware of something, that Palantir is going to be making their earnings announcements on Tuesday, May 11th. This is their first quarter announcement. They are going to be hosting a conference call approximately 6 a.m. Mountain, 8 a.m. Eastern, before the market opens. So just FYI, that is when the earnings call is going to be for Q1, in case you didn't know that. Now you do. Okay, let's take a look at the chart. As you can see, this was the chart from the close April 30th, and basically we were down. All right, okay, now the overall NASDAQ was down 119 points. You can see we did hit a high of 23.53, but for the most part, the NASDAQ, the stock was down that day, and then it was down a little bit in after-hours trading. I really jump over and look at 6-month charts because at 6 months, here's what I want to point out. I always point out two things when I look at the chart. Number one, we have our support level. Our support level is really that $21, $22 range. We just simply have not dropped below that. We've been doing this for quite a while here. So from March to April, we've kind of had, that's basically been the time frame, is that in that whole time frame, the stock has really only gone up about 2.3%. So the stock is really trading sideways, right? Okay. Now, I've said this before in previous videos. I'm going to say this again. We need to get catalysts to move us above the $25 range. The $25 range is our next resistance level, and we can get above that. I think we're off and running. As far as what do I believe that the stock is going to be inside of 12 months, I still believe fundamentally that this is a $40 to $50 stock. And yes, I've mentioned this in previous videos, and I'm going to keep mentioning this. We will have problems with the media and things like that, coverage of the stock. I think that the stock gets exceedingly bad media related coverage, as well as just seems to get overall beat up because of the nature of what they do. AI, data management, their work with the CIA, the government, the military, etc. That is just part of life. But fundamentally, that doesn't change what the company is about. That doesn't change that the company invested $1 billion in stock grants to their people at the end of last year. That doesn't change that they have the leading technology. It doesn't change that they're giving away their software for free to help companies get back on their feet, recovering from COVID, from the COVID pandemic, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't change. It is what it is. It relates to this company. But I do believe at the end of the day that they will prevail, and that it may take time. We may have pullbacks, we may have some bumps along the way, but I'm a firm believer. I'm a long-term holder of this company and this stock. Okay, so let's move on and talk about the piece of content that I've got for you, specifically talking about really the short interest in the stock. Okay, so the short interest has dropped about 3.8% in the last cycle, and the reason I'm bringing this to you is short interest or shorting has been, in my opinion, one of the main reasons that the stock has been kind of kept down. So this whole point of this piece of information, that I consider this to be good news, is that it looks like the overall short interest or shorting interest in the stock is dwindling, okay, and which is a good thing, because long-term holders, looks like we should continue to maybe go up. So depending upon your level or your appetite where you're at, again, we've said this all along, this could be a long-term buy position. I've added to my position a little bit at this level as well, so just FYI. Okay, so even though shorting Palantir has become easier, market participants are not placing short bets against the company in large numbers. Okay, we're going to really talk about this. Okay, here we go. So again, we know that the shares have gone down in value over 45%. We're trading in that sideways pattern. But really, the long and the short of it is, there's the pun intended. The short of it is that the shorts are retreating. Okay, so this explains shorting interest. You can read this if you want. But long and short of it, I keep saying that. That's just a saying I have. Short interest in the last cycle stood at 55.5 million shares, which was down 3.8 sequentially. The short interest figure may seem huge in isolation, but it's really not, right? Per YCharts, the data analytics firm has about 1.82 billion shares outstanding, which means that just a little over 3% of its total shares has been shorted at the end of the last cycle. So it looks, again, like we have the beginnings of that shorting of the stock is starting to dwindle, starting to go away, and that's the news I'm bringing you. So this should have some positive impact. Maybe this coupled with the fact that we should hopefully, fingers crossed, we should have a good earnings report on the 11th, and we should maybe potentially looking to break above that $25 range. Okay, and then once I think we're out of that, we can continue to move forward. Okay. Let me consider going down here. You see, I didn't highlight it for you this time because I just wanted to kind of free flow through some of this stuff. A few months ago, readers and investors were of the view that Palantir's short interest was artificially low because there weren't as many shares available. This specifically talking about the fact that when a lot of the executives and the key personnel that there was concern that when their share lockup that the shares would be flooded. There were some obviously shares released. Okay, in light of this argument, we get a true picture of short-term activity in Palantir. This person started maintaining a log of short loan availability data since November. It's true that there were only a few shares available for short during early December and January. In fact, only 15,000 were available for shorting on the 15th of December 2020. The figure is so smart. The chart below. This was all basically talking about the shorting action kind of prior, right? And so let's see. I just want to continue moving forward. Let's see. There was some content here. So why? So now I really want to talk about why are the short side markets avoiding Palantir? That's really what I want to talk to you about. So if you want to go back, you can pause that previous stuff. It kind of was talking about some of the lockup period and stuff like that. Really wasn't the point of this article. So Palantir has become a risky short. Okay, for starters, Palantir shares have corrected by about 45 cents mid-January. Analysts, on the other hand, aren't projecting a gloomy picture for the company and have actually maintained their revenue estimates for fiscal year 2021. The disparity in resilient and analyst estimates and its distressed stock price has resulted in a moderation in Palantir's evaluation. Its one-year forward price-to-sales multiple, which factors in annual revenues for fiscal year 2000 and the company's current stock, is close to its multi-month lows. So it's not become a good stock that the short people want to, that they don't. It's not going to fall much further. And Palantir offers poor risk-reward ratio for short side bets, at least for the time being. And if we get a good earnings, we should continue to be moving forward. Secondly, Palantir is targeting growth in the commercial sector quite aggressively. Companies transitioning to a customer-friendly payment model. We've talked about that in previous videos. They took another step when they started giving away their platforms for free to get more people in the door. Many would be surprised to know the company has added 14 new customers in the last 2 quarters. The sluggish customer growth has actually been a topic of discussion. We've covered that at length. Okay. However, by giving their software away for free, they are absolutely continuing to, I think, really start to expand the footprint. Right. Extent of its paying customers' growth and the associated revenue gains will depend on upsell offerings, its paywall structure, etc. This is a positive step in the right direction. It stands to boost Palantir's commercial revenue. The key here is that I think that that the short action is going to go away, as well as we're looking at, we're really good moving forward, and the stock at current pricing, the short side bets, it's just not really what, where we're at. Okay, where it's really conducive to what they want. The bears had a legitimate argument against Palantir and a firm belief the stock will continue to appreciate in value going forward. They would have actively initiated shorts positions in the name, but that hasn't happened. Okay, so I think we're starting to see the bears turn away from the stock. I realize that I'm all over the place on this video, but I wanted to go through this, and I didn't want to highlight it, guys, on purpose, because I wanted to read it with you and kind of react to it with you. Usually I read these things ahead, but I wanted to, because this one I wanted to go through it and specifically look at it with you. Okay, we see that market participants are wound up their short positions in Palantir in the latest cycle. So it looks like, again, the bears are rolling off. We got some positive momentum, and hopefully it's the perfect setup to buy into Palantir as its shares seem to be bottoming out. Okay, and I am very bullish on these guys as well. I'm going to end there and tell you that I am extremely bullish on these guys. I just want to see some positive momentum for them, and I want to see continue to see the short side bets move away. I want to continue to see them start to execute, and people start to really believe in what they're doing, and we start to get some positive momentum. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop a like on it, and consider subscribing if you already done so. Until then, go make some money. Take it easy. Bye.